Back on In Focus tonight, let's start here now. The Johannesburg Emergency Management Service says they are on high alert following a warning of a cold front in parts of Gauteng. The South African Weather Service has issued a level 1 warning for severe thunderstorms resulting in strong damaging winds and hail expected over parts of the province. The city's EMS spokesperson, Robert Mlaudzi, says personnel are prepared for any eventuality. He's also warned residents to exercise caution when using heating devices.
From our side, we are prepared for any emergencies which might occur. We especially monitoring our most vulnerable communities, our informal settlements, since we know that they are the hardest hit when we have extremely cold temperatures like the ones we have, because they are using heating devices like braziers or imbawula, paraffin stoves, candles, which, if they are used unsafely, they must cause fire incidents. We are also pleading with our residents in our formal residential areas, those who might be using any other heating devices like heaters, to make sure that they don't leave them, these heating devices, unattended while in use, so that we can be able to prevent, fire incidents which might occur at home. From our side as a service, we have got all our 29 fire stations fully operational and on high alert, so we should be able to respond to all the emergencies which might occur over the weekend.
Another death toll in the Nelson Mandela Bay floods has increased to 7. One of the bodies was found lying in the street in the Kamesh area. Several other people are feared missing. Mayor Gary Fanike says persistent rain will make it difficult for emergency services to carry out their work. In the meantime, residents are urged to try to stay indoors as the area remains on orange alert level 6. Donations are being accepted at the South End Fire Station. At the same time, Minister in the Presidency, Khumbuzo Ntshavheni, says they are supporting the government of the Eastern Cape to deal with evacuations after the flooding.
We would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Presidency to also extend our heartfelt sympathies to the people of Nelson Mandela Bay who have been affected by the floods. And the disaster management teams are there, government departments are there to assess the extent of the damage and to also respond to the need on the ground. We are supporting the government of the Eastern Cape and the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro in terms of responding and in terms of the evacuation, and they will keep you up to date in terms of the latest developments with the floods. And we wish everybody a safe and secure stay when the elements are working against us. We know that when it starts to flood in the Eastern Cape, the likelihood is going to extend to the KZN in particular and to other provinces. And we are requesting South Africans and urging South Africans to remain alert and vigilant, not to become victims of floods.
Right, let's speak more now to the provincial head of communications in the Eastern Cape for the African National Congress, joining us, Gift Ngqondi. Gift, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. How are the relief efforts panning out?
Good evening, Chabiso, and good evening to your viewers at this time of the night. It's very cold in the Eastern Cape. It's raining very hard, and it's chilly. Look, Chabiso, there have been relief efforts by the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality, because we recall that these are two areas. It's Nelson Mandela Metropolitan Municipality in areas such as Kariega and also in Gqeberha, but also at Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality in areas such as Dagin Village, Zamomfi, Restin, Dakets. All these areas have been affected by the floods. And also, we reported earlier on that there were 6 people that have died, but I can confirm that it's 7 casualties. And most of the people have been displaced, and all those people have been displaced. I was speaking to the executive mayor of Buffalo City Metro just 2 hours ago. They've been placing some of the community halls, and one of those community halls is in Duncan Village, and also those in Kariega, which was formerly Youthnik. They are also been housed in some of the 2 halls in Youthnik. So relief efforts have been in place, and I must comment also, Chabiso, the South African National Defence Force, which has deployed this helicopter to help assess and have an access on the inaccessible areas, in particular in Kariega, but also those who are always in hand, which we know as the gift of the givers. They've also been on hand assisting both the two metros, your Buffalo City and also Nelson Mandela Metro. But also we must also commend the Department of Human Settlements, because they went to the two areas to assess the damage. Also, Department of Social Development, led by MEC Bukiwe Fando, was in hand with the Executive Mayor of Buffalo City, giving out blankets and every item that could be used by the victims of the flood. And also in Nelson Mandela, the mayor, the MMCs, ward councillors, they've been in hand ensuring that everyone's got assistance. So we really commend this kind of response by all structures, by all government departments, by all community-based organizations, including the gift of the givers.
Is it too early at this point to talk about how the government of province plans to intervene in the rebuilding of the lives of those who would have been displaced?
Look, as I indicated earlier on, that the Ministry of Human Settlement was in Nelson Mandela to assess the damage, because the most affected areas I can confirm in Kariega, it's mostly your shack areas, your informal settlements, and some of the areas that are affected also in Buffalo City, it's informal settlements, but also in some areas where you've got RDP houses. And I think one of the critical issues that I think government must deal with, in particular local government sphere, is the issue of drainage system, because these floods normally ravage our areas, especially areas where working class communities are living. And I think it's high time that we put measures, we request more funding from National Treasury so as to address this issue of drainage system, because it's not only these two areas that get mostly affected by floods. Most of the townships get affected by floods, because some of the infrastructure that we have in the townships, it's an old infrastructure that needs to be revamped so as to not encounter some of the challenges that we're encountering now. But also, we also want to make this strong appeal to communities that you'll notice that in some areas, it's areas where people have invaded land where you would describe as a wetland, where you cannot even build a shack, where you cannot even build a house. That's why some of the interventions that these two municipalities must look at is the issue of relocation, so that some of these communities who live in these informal settlements are relocated to other places, but also fast-tracking the process of making identification of those who will be eligible for RDP houses, so that at least our people can deserve and get this relief for having proper houses, so that we don't experience this kind of tragedies where we'll even lose lives of ordinary people.
Yeah. Is this setting behind some of the work that was particularly already being undertaken in the province around some key artillery routes, main routes that generally become damaged during such heavy downpours?
You will notice, I will make one example, the road that connects KwaNobuhle to the town of Kariega, the bridge was broken into half. And the last time I heard that, I think it was 4 hours ago, is that there was a taxi that fell into that hole. So we have appealed to the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality to make sure that they assess the damage there, but so that we can also solicit funding as to fast track in rebuilding that bridge, because that bridge connects the township of KwaNobuhle to town. Now the people will be redirected to other routes, which is your Christian area in Kariega, when they go to town, and also attending to work in some of the industrial areas of Kariega. But secondly, we know for a fact that the Ministry of Transport has been dealing with some of the issues of road infrastructure in the province. You will recall that there was one damaged road between Kofinfaba and Ngqondi when there was a heavy rain last year. That road was also reconstructed again. It's moving now, but I can confirm to you now that road infrastructure construction has been given priority by the province. Yeah. Because if you take notice of a road on the N2 between PD and Makanda, that road is under construction also. If you look at the road between Bisho and Kumha, which is called R63, there's a road construction also there. So these issues of road infrastructure are taken as a big priority by the province. But we're also appealing for more funding to be given to the province, so that also Sandra has already come on board to assist the province to address the issue of road infrastructure, because it's also one of the critical challenges that have been facing the province, considering that we have been a Bandostan, former Bandostan province with two former Bandostan, which is the Transkei and Sky. So there will always be that backlog of road infrastructure that I think the province is dealing with seriously at the moment.
Gift Ngqondi, appreciate your time, Provincial Head of Communications for the African National Congress.